I do not see that the revision will be split, because there was a very clear positioning of many leaders that this is not in their interest and that they would not tolerate a splitting. So overall, there was a lot of support for the priorities, because indeed, typically when you design an overall budget, you have some buffers in it. We have not done this time. If you look at the figures and if you look at the topics, it's the bare minimum, and that is necessary. I mean, Ukraine is self-explanatory. Migration, everybody knows that for example, external action we are doing with partner countries, we need more funding. The natural disasters and humanitarian aid, I do not have to explain how difficult the situation is. And we should not forget, we planned the budget in 2020, so you have all the slices every year for 7 years fixed. There is not a lot of flexibility in, and the important topic of competitiveness, which is STEP. There was a broad, I would not say 100%, but a broad support more or less for these priorities. Yes, you are right. If I recall it correct, mostly the topic of defense or military mobility was also brought forward, but certainly not by a vast majority. So I think it's taking shape what we are looking at. Now, the question is, of course, there will be a mixture in the very end of possible redeployment and natural contributions. You have the options to reduce the proposals, or you have the option to take one part of the proposal out, explicitly not a split, but we have 5 different elements in it. So if we look at, for example, that one part as one element would be taken out, these are the options that are on the table. And the Spanish presidency has done an intensive work by presenting by now 3 nego boxes. So, and this work will now go on. It was very important to hear the leaders and to get an idea where the majorities might be and what the views on the overall, the political view. This is not a detailed figure view. We were not discussing figures, for example, but the political view on the MFF revision, what it looks like.
Maybe a few points on the MFF, because it's very important to have a clear view on the process. And we remember that 4 years ago, when we had an agreement on the initial budget, it was a very difficult debate and a very difficult political decision, and it will be again a very difficult political decision in the weeks to come. Even if all of us we are aware that there is a certain sense of urgency, and it would be great if we are able to make an agreement by the end of the year, which is, I repeat, our common goal. In terms of priorities, I can share with you that many leaders indeed support the idea that Ukraine should be one priority. And then there were various opinions among the leaders about the other topics, and indeed competitiveness, defense, solidarity fund, and the natural disasters. These were examples mentioned by various leaders where we should make sure that the EU will have the tools and the means to act and to react in case of need. This is my first point. It means that there are debates and there is further work that will be needed on this question of the priorities, point 1, and point 2, the financing. And here we didn't discuss today the numbers, and it will be the next step. The Spanish presidency will have the responsibility to put enablers on the table with numbers, which will make more concrete and more operational the political debates we will have on this question. But there is an important political question that we will need to resolve. This is which part of the review will be financed through fresh money, and which part would be financed through redeployments in the initial budget. I don't want to preempt this discussion, but today, for the first time at the level of the leaders, we had the occasion to listen to each other, to understand what are the very important key priorities for all the leaders, what are the very difficult points in the transition that will be difficult for the leaders. It means that this debate was extremely useful to make the next step, and the Spanish presidency will put on the table a neighbour box with numbers at that time. And then we'll assess when it will be possible for the European Council to be seized of this matter and to try to make the final decisions on this question.
Thank you very much. We'll wrap up here. It's already very late. So thank you very much, Presidents. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you.